The Southwest was full of bad men, men who killed until they themselves were killed. But the career of every killer had a beginning, and at one time, every bad man was a bad boy.
You're gonna have to talk pretty big if you're gonna get any more credit.
Oh, we'll get it. Old Amos Thatcher's had a chance to assay that ore sample I brought him.
Pretty good piece of rock I swiped, weren't it, Pa?
I guess that's about the prettiest piece of ore sample I ever did see. Oh, Barney.
Amos, Judge Ryder's going to make his headquarters here, right here in Tucson.
Oh, mighty glad to have you with us, Judge.
Thank you.
Howdy, folks. Good morning, Mr. Smithers.
Graff?
Well, looks like you finally struck it rich.
Yeah, where?
Up in the Rincon. You should have seen the look on old Amos's face when I brought in that ore sample.
What did that say?
Don't know yet. Just come in to get the report.
Well, I'll believe it when I hear it from Amos. How about it, Amos?
Did you finish that essay yet?
Yep.
She was, pretty rich, wasn't she?
About, 2,000.
$2,000. I guess I really did strike it rich. Amos, shake hands with a rich man. Now that I've struck it rich and everything, I suppose you'll be willing to extend my credit maybe a notch or maybe even 2 notches.
Sorry, Mr. Graff, I don't plan to extend you 1 penny more of credit. You bring in a wagon load that rot, and we'll talk about it again.
Now, wait a minute, Amos.
Not 1 penny more.
All right. Then just give me back my ore sample. That had plenty of pay dirt in it.
A little over $20. I applied it to your account.
But Amos...
Ain't no more to say. Oh, good morning, Jefford.
Well, Amos, just want a few things until my supplies come in. Tom, shake hands with Judge Ryder, our new circuit judge.
Well, glad to meet you, Judge.
Thanks.
Judge Ryder, I'd like you to meet Cochise, the chief of the Chiricahua Apaches.
Cochise, glad to make your acquaintance.
Excuse us.
How's a man to feed his family, I'd like to know?
You might try doing an honest day's work.
Who asked you?
Why, I thought you did.
You know, you might need a little credit yourself someday, Mr. Smithers. But you ain't gonna get it around here. No, sir. Unless you happen to be a thieving Indian.
Now, wait a minute, Graff.
Let me go! Let me go! What they doing to my boy?
You get your hands off of Willie.
You tried to steal this knife.
I didn't. I was only going to look at it.
There are other things he has stolen.
Come on, Willie. Hand him over.
Are you gonna take this Indian's word against my Willie's?
I take anybody's word against your kid. All right, Billy. Out with it.
not serious, my brother.
I'll get bandages.
Well, if this is a sample of what goes on in Tucson, it looks as though I'm going to have a busy session.
If you're going to bring us the benefits of the law, Judge Ryder, you couldn't do better than to start right now by making an example of this boy.
That's right. He's a liar and a thief. And he can count himself lucky he ain't a killer, too. And his old man's a deadbeat.
Now, there's no point in talking about the law. Let's see some of it in action.
Looks like the eyes have got it, Judge.
All right, Marshal. As long as we've got all the principals and the witnesses here, see if you can get them to settle down.
All right, let's have a little quiet. The judge has got something to say.
Folks, it seems to be the general sentiment here that this young man should be given a taste of the law. What is your name, boy?
Willie Graff,
How old are you, Willie?
14.
Now, come right down here and stand where everybody can see you. We're going to hold an informal hearing in the case of Willie Graff right now.
A hearing? Why, well, that's nothing but a waste of time. Everyone here saw him do it.
That's right, Mr. Smithers. What we're going to decide now is what the law is going to do about it.
I'll tell you what I'd do about it. I'd run Willie and his whole family out of town on a rail.
But you're not the law, Mr. Smithers. Running Willie Graff out of town on a rail wouldn't accomplish anything.
All right. What are you going to do with the boy?
Well, I must admit, this is a little outside my experience. I've handled rustlers, claim jumpers, even murderers. But I've never had to decide the fate of a boy. Mr. Jeffords, do you have any suggestions?
What's the point of asking him? He's the one got shot.
Huh.
I only asked for a suggestion. Besides, Mr. Jeffords is a lawyer, I understand.
Seems to me the people in this room have already tried Willie Graff. Found him guilty. What about the people who are really guilty? His parents.
Now, you wait just a minute. I didn't do nothing.
Me neither. It's trouble enough a mother having such a son.
I think you're confusing the issue, Mr. Jeffords. Unless you have a suggestion.
I do.
What's he up to?
I don't know. But I'll lay odds it's no good.
Judge, we have a penitentiary, but it's full of hard cases. We could send Willie up there, but he'd come back as hardened as the others.
There's nothing else we can do.
Seems to me there's something more important than punishing this boy. And that's trying to teach him to know the difference between right and wrong.
Well, how do you propose to do that?
Make him a ward of the court, Judge.
A very interesting idea, Mr. Jeffords. But not practical. We don't have the facilities to handle a situation like that. Besides, who'd be willing to assume custody?
I would.
What do you want with my boy, Jeffords? What are you going to do with him?
I'd give him the chance that you never gave him. A chance to become a man.
You're sure you know the responsibility you're assuming, Mr. Jeffords?
I think I do, Judge.
All right, Mr. Jeffords. I'll accept your suggestion. The papers will be drawn up immediately.
Willie, you wait here.
I can get away if I want to.
Might be interesting if you tried.
As close as we are to each other, sometimes I cannot understand the things you do. If it is a son my brother needs, let him find a woman and raise one of his own.
This one is bad, Cochise. Do you know why? Because Willie Graff never had a chance. Learned a lot from you and the Apaches, Cochise. Apache boys look up to their families. And their families try hard to keep their children's love and respect.
That is true.
Apache boys are taught the difference between right and wrong. They're taught to depend upon themselves at all times. This is a good thing for both an Apache or a white boy.
You have seen clearly, my brother.
Willie is tricky because his parents are tricky. He steals because no one has told him that this is wrong.
Why do you speak of things that are known to me?
Because I want Willie Graff to have the same training that an Indian boy gets. I want you to put him with an Indian family.
I thought that's where your words were leading you. What you ask is not possible.
Cochise, sometimes in the evening when we have talked, you've opened your heart to me. You've taught me to look inside a man and see what is there. I have looked inside this boy. He is not all bad. There's something else, Cochise. It would be a good thing to have an Apache family make a good boy out of Willie, after his own parents have failed.
When his parents find out what you have done, they will fill the skies with anger.
What Ma and Fred Graff do is of no importance. The important thing is to save this boy.
If you believe that, we will try.
Willie, you're going with Cochise. You'll stay in his village until I send for you.
You can't turn me over to the Apaches. They'll kill me.
You'll be perfectly safe, I promise you. I'll promise you something else. If you act like a man, they'll treat you like one.
This is Nokima. This is Chotejo. And this is their son, Narantina. This is Willie.
Willie.
You will treat him as one of your own family, and not as a guest who must eat first when the bowl is passed. You will look upon Nokima and Chotejo as a father and mother, and they will look upon you as a son, and you will obey them. At sunrise, you will join Narantina in the trials.
What trials?
The trials that will tell us which of the young boys are ready to become men. This is an angry land for all who live on it. You will learn to keep alive on this land by using your own eyes and your own hands and your own feet.
That stuff's all right for you Indians. But I'm a white boy. What do I need to know about that for?
So that you will believe in yourself. Then there will be nothing you cannot do.
Nah.
That is a sound not even an animal makes to its elders. Someday, if you are lucky, you will learn that for yourself. You fight well. But if you want to win, you must learn to hold your temper. For if a man fights an enemy and his temper, he gives his enemy an ally.
You were this lost. We will run again. This time I will beat your legs with this. You ain't gonna hit me. If you do not like the stick, you must run faster than I. Ready? Go! it's your turn. Wait until I swing the target. You'll do better this time.
Look, boy, what do you see?
Deer tracks.
What do they tell you?
It's a big one.
What else?
It's headed that way and it's moving slowly.
Your eyes are learning to see. You will follow it.
Look!
No, too far.
Wish I had a gun.
Sometimes a gun is good, but it can give a man a false sense of power. Then when he is without
Let's
a gun...
move closer.
Let the hunter eat first.
In this family, no Kima eats first, as always. There. Get down. That is the land on which you will live, where you will find your food and water.
I don't want to go. I won't.
After 5 suns have set, you will return to the village. Larentina.
Well, we got the word all right. He's turned our little Willie over to the Apaches.
The man's seen Willie with his own eyes.
Yes, sir.
My poor baby. 3 months with them savages. There he is now. What did you do with my baby?
All right, Jeffords. Where's our Willie?
He's up with the Apaches.
Ah! I told you. I told you.
You did it for spite, didn't you? Taking his meanness out on our little boy.
They've been torturing my baby. That's what they've been doing. A man we know'd seen him.
Now, wait a minute.
He's had my baby tortured.
Let's give him some of his own medicine, huh?
All right, turn him loose. Turn him loose. Now, who's giving the party, and what's it all about?
He turned our Willie over to his Apache friends. That's what he did.
To have him tortured. He even admits it.
What about it, Tom?
I do admit that Willie is up with Cochise, but this talk of torture is nonsense.
Well, tortured or not, if you did turn the kid over to the Apaches, the Graffs have a legitimate complaint. Is that right, Judge?
There's no question, but you've abused your custody rights, Mr. Jeffords. Willie Graff is still under the jurisdiction of the court. I order you to produce him forthwith.
Willie will be at the agency by sundown tomorrow.
Tom. What's the matter with you? You know folks around here would never stand for a thing like that. After all, a kid's a kid. Even if it's a kid like Willie Graff. Things could be a mite rough if you don't bring the kid in.
Sun's getting low, Judge.
Marshal, I don't like the mood of these men. They're looking for trouble.
They'll find it.
I want this matter handled in an orderly, lawful manner. If the people of this territory are going to take the law into their own hands...
I just want to tell you, Judge, there ain't going to be no fiddling around with the law if anything's happened to my boy.
And I'm warning you again, Mr. Graff. Don't try to take the law into your own hands.
You're going to have to warn the whole town of Tucson, isn't that right? Because my friends ain't going to stand for my boy being handed over to no stinking Indians. And I got to warn you, there's going to be a roping party if he ever does show up.
He's showing up.
I don't see Willie. Something's happened to him. Something's happened to my baby.
Where's the boy?
He's dead, ain't he?
Just a minute, folks. I'll ask the questions. Where is Willie Graff, Mr. Jeffords? I asked you a question officially, Mr. Jeffords. Where's the boy?
I don't know.
Oh! I told you! I told you my baby was dead!
He's not dead, Mrs. Graff.
Then where is he? Why ain't he here with you?
Well, he wasn't at the stronghold when I went to get him.
Then where is he, Mr. Jeffords?
He's out on the desert.
On the desert? Alone? With all them snakes and things? Oh, my poor baby. I told you I'd never see him again.
He is not alone. I sent someone to follow him and watch him.
Then where is he?
You're lying, you murdering Indian. You sent my boy out on the desert to be killed. All right. That's the end of this palaver. Come on, men, let's give them some of what them Indians gave my boy.
First man takes another step gets a bullet.
Now, we don't want to hurt you, Marshal.
Willie! Willie! Willie, my baby, speak to me.
Get Jeffords and the Indian. You stay out of this, Judge.
Cochise.
Go on, Willie, hit him. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you.
Your time on the desert has not yet finished.
Oh, yes, it is. Go on, Willie, show it.
I'm sorry, Cochise. I had to quit after only 3 days.
3 days out there in that burning sun?
Did the Indians mistreat you, boy? Don't be afraid to speak up.
Oh, no, sir. They were very kind to me, sir. I have some real friends now, for the first time. I got scared, so I came back to the stronghold. They told me you were looking for me, so I came down here as fast as I could. I'll try to do better next time, Cochise. If you'll give me another chance.
You will have another chance.
A chance for what?
You're all right now, Willie. You're coming home with me.
No, Ma, I'm not. The Apaches are trying to teach me what you couldn't teach me. I'm not going till I learn.
All right, boys, you can go home now. Looks like the Indian massacre's over.